Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, February 21st. So we have the moon in Sagittarius energy here all day. We just had the last quarter moon pop off in the Sagittarius energy here yesterday, which means that the build up to that breakthrough energy has already taken place. And now the energy is going to dissipate just a tad. However, the moon in this Sagittarius energy is still pushing us to open up our minds, to seek greater knowledge, to push the boundaries of our perspective, of our understanding. We really should be in a situation to be exploring different options, different avenues, experimenting with different thoughts, different ideas, and really opening ourselves up to a greater, grander vision, goal, and dream that maybe we didn't have even a couple of weeks ago. Either way, we have a more optimistic, confident lens for us to kind of be looking at life through. And although there are going to be a couple of tough interactions here today that definitely going to pressurize us and challenge us to keep that positive mind frame, those particular aspects, those harsh points are giving us an opportunity to see where we need to kind of grow through what it is that we're currently going through. There are 8 different aspects taking place here today. All 8 involve the moon, giving us another moon day. Moon days are a great day for emotional refinement and therefore emotional realignment. And of course, on a Friday, this is Venus ruled, which means that the heart activations that have been coming in pretty hot and pretty strong as of late are probably going to intensify here today. We have the moon in the Sagittarius energy trining with Venus in Aries right out of the gate, which means that this is fire on fire action. We love that. That fire is going to dry up some of those emotions, break through, burn through some of that junk and gunk. It is going to renew, refresh our soul and our spirit, download us with a little bit of a pep in our step. Now, here's the deal. We have Venus shining at her brightest at this particular juncture. The closer that she gets to March 1st, of course, she is going to be gaining jittery energy because she's going to be going retrograde. And so, again, there is a lot of realizations being futuristically focused right now on what we want, what we need, what we desire, what we're passionate about, what we're excited about. And although those things are very good to keep us encouraged, it's also putting in a realization of what we're no longer attached to, what we no longer want, what we no longer need, what we no longer desire. And of course, the realization of what we do want leading us to what we don't want means that now we have to be accountable and responsible for providing endings and closures to, again, the people, places, things, topics, and themes that, again, we've outgrown and we do not want to build upon moving forward into the future. Now, this is going to infuse our heart space with a lot of excitement, a lot of tingles, if you will, because we are gaining a deeper understanding, a bigger, broader perspective of what the future could possibly be, as long as we stay heart aligned and, of course, do all the hard things in order to close the door on particular chapters, topics, and themes. We then have the moon in Sagittarius making a beautiful interaction with Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, even our anger. He has 2 more days of being retrograde before he stations direct, and that is going to put a whole hell of a lot of pep back in our step and kind of infuse us with a new mood, a new attitude, new physical energy, new motivation, no determination to actually see something through. And we have been doing a lot of inner work to make sure that, again, we are addressing our emotions, that we're building ourselves up, that we're nurturing and nourishing ourselves back to a place of safety, security, and stability before we go ahead and start messing around with the external realm. Again, it is a very scary place to be in when you are unstable and kind of chaotic in your inner realm, and then you start trying to make major changes in your external realm. We have to operate from a grounded place within ourselves, a stable place, before we start adding new things to our plate. So the moon interacting with Mars is definitely going to fine-tune what it is that we're hell-bent, damn well and determined upon, what we want to see through, what we're motivated and determined to actually take action upon. And again, this inner realm building, cultivating, this fire, spark, and flame to keep us burning bright through the obstacles and challenges that we know we're going to face the minute that we pivot and try to blaze a new path. The moon in Sagittarius then going to sit across from Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings, rules over the Sagittarius energy that the moon is in. Jupiter, however, sitting in Gemini energy. This particular interaction probably not going to be so fun because we're at odds with ourselves. Here's the thing. The moon in Sagittarius focused on the big picture, the big goal, the big vision, where it is that we want to end up. Jupiter tends to magnify whatever it is that he's kind of dealing with. And in Gemini energy, it's about the smaller details that are going to align us with that greater, grander vision. We have the tendency right now to be hopeful and wishful and kind of dreamy. Again, we're in Pisces season, so imagination is kind of getting a little bit over exaggerated with us. We're living a totally different reality in our inner realm. This particular energy is putting us in a situation to realize that hopes and wishes and dreams, those things are all great. But if we lack the logic and practicality, if we lack the hands-on action needed in order to sort through the proper planning and structure needed in order to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be, there's a very small chance that we're actually going to be able to manifest the goal, the vision, the dream that we're now hyped up and ready to pursue. The moon in Sagittarius gets into the boxing ring with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, who is in Pisces energy. And so again, our heart space, the moon, and our head space, Mercury, they're not on the same page. They're going through some growing pains. That's what a square highlights for us. And reason being, again, emotionally speaking, we're optimistic that as long as we can kind of hold that vision for our future, that we're going to be able to manifest that. Well, Mercury, on the other hand, in Pisces energy, is very aware of the endings and closures needed in order to free us up to actually start building towards that new goal, vision, and dream for the future. Where communication is concerned, well, misunderstandings are very, very likely. We're having a hard time understanding ourselves, let alone being able to articulate ourselves in such a way to have other people understand us in the way that we want. So we are definitely kind of, I'm going to say, lacking in our communication skills, in our understanding skills. Again, we're kind of all living in our own inner realms, and it's very hard to kind of communicate when we're all on different levels. The moon is then going to make a very harsh interaction with Mars. So here's where the frustration and the anger kicks in. Here's where the restlessness, the ants in our pants are kind of getting the best of us. We have this particular energy highlighting for us where it is that, again, we feel held back, where we feel restricted, where we feel like we're banging our head against a wall. And again, most of this energy is stemming from the fact that we are but days away of having Mars station direct. And so we have all of these ideas that we want to take action upon. And of course, we can't do any of that right now. And that is very frustrating. It's very hard for us to keep an optimistic type of mood and attitude when, realistically speaking, we're feeling blocked and challenged from doing what we think we need to do in order to make some progress, in order to make some improvements. We then have the moon in Sagittarius semi-squaring with Pluto. Pluto, of course, the great transformer in Aquarius energy. A semi-square is going to highlight where it is that we're having a hard time kind of seeing the forest past the trees, where we're having a hard time staying optimistic, staying focused on that goal, vision, and dream. Because a lot of this, especially with Pluto in that Aquarius energy, yes, we are very futuristically focused, but we're not in the realm of just hopes, wishes, and dreams with that Aquarius energy. We operate from the highest level of intelligence with that Aquarius energy. And of course, we are, let's call it, scientifically and logically leaning towards the improvements, the adjustments that have to be made, first of all, in the way that we think, in the way that we feel, before we're going to see those adjustments and improvements actually take place in the physical realm. Whereas the moon in the Sagittarius energy, again, very hopeful, very wishful, but lacking the logical, practical structure, plan, strategy needed in order to actually manifest the goal, the vision, the dream. We then have the moon in Sagittarius getting into the boxing ring, squaring off with Saturn. Saturn being the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, foundations, willpower, and discipline. And of course, we have Mr. Saturn in this Pisces energy, dissolving the old version of self, the old world, the old belief system, the old perspective, the old ways of doing things. Why? Because again, the old world has to collapse in order for new earth to begin. We have this particular square because, again, the moon in Sagittarius kind of dreams a big dream, but lacks the organization, the structure, the willpower, the discipline to put into action the plan, the strategy needed to actually manifest the end goal. And so this is a little bit of a reality check. Saturn's kind of poking the moon in Sagittarius and saying, okay, it's great to have hopes and wishes and dreams, but you actually have to do something with it. You know, you actually have to build it. You actually have to clear a space for it. And so although it may sober us up a little bit and kind of knock the wind out of our sails, it is definitely needed for us to come back down to earth and understand that, yes, we do have a goal, vision, and dream that we're very inspired to do and to pursue, but look at all the things that's blocking the path. And therefore, we have to get organized in our thoughts and our ideas and our actions in order to wrap things up, clear that space so that, again, we have the space to build something new. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in Sagittarius energy trining, which is a beautiful interaction with Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries energy. So again, this is fire on fire action. We love this because it's going to lighten the mood a little bit, lighten the vibe. This is going to put us in a perspective where instead of getting down on ourselves and adopting that negative Nancy narrative that we could so easily fall into, that again, we're focused on the positives. We're plucking out the silver linings. That we are focused on where it is that we can be growing through what we're going through, healing, where it is that we can be making improvements and adjustments within ourselves to, again, align with the highest version of self that, of course, is now resonating with these hopes, these goals, these wishes, these dreams that we're eagerly awaiting and manifesting.